What's up, YouTube? Sean Wayman, the Average Angler, and we are bringing you some good stuff today. One of my favorite techniques, folks. Let me adjust this a little bit. All right, that looks better. Now you can see my bald head, all the forehead, lack of hair, all that kind of stuff. Cheers to you. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you clicking on the video. And this is an exciting time, right? It is March. I don't know what day it is. March 2nd, I think. Saturday, March 2nd. Just got done watching the Elites down in Texas. Oh, man. What a time they're having down there. And these young kids are so freaking good. I can't imagine it's not the youngest top 10 ever. But who knows? I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. They always do. Anyway, today we are going to talk about a deadly technique that's coming soon to you, if it's not already there. Swim jigs. Swim jigs are awesome. I know they're not the most popular technique, but they are, with guys that do it and know, Steve Kennedy. And I know there's tons of others, right? But it's not a square bill. It's not a chatterbait. It's not like everybody's doing it. And I think the big thing is a lot of people will pick up a swim jig and they give up on it. Look, it's a chatterbait without a blade, right? So it's more subtle. The great thing about a swim jig, here's one I got here. That's got a Reaction Innovation skinny dipper on it. It's not a small swim bait, right? But this one doesn't have a real thick skirt either. I really like these. This is a G Money swim jig. Here's another G Money swim jig. And if you guys are interested in these, you can get them on tacklewarehouse.com. Look at that hook. The hook keeper, I mean, there's all kinds of, you put a trailer on there, folks, and you're good, okay? If you're skipping, you may want to glue, but quite honestly, that's on any, well, okay, almost any swim jig. My other swim jig, and we're going to go over rods and all that stuff here, folks. It's right here. You'll see the skirt is much thicker on this one, much fuller. This is a 3/8 ounce, 6 cents Divine swim jig. And I've got one here to show you. And this is their new Congo craw. I ripped off the bigger claws on the side. Okay, and that's just going to be I would suggest ripping them off. It just depends on which ones, right? And I'll show you why. Here's the 4 claws. The 2 outer ones are going to help it ride a little higher in the water. If you leave these and pull these, or you can pull these and leave the middle, which is what I did. And technically, you could leave all 4. If you do that, I would suggest trimming the skirt some. Anyway, this color is called Green Pumpkin Swirl. Okay, it's a great match for the Bluegill Divine swim jig. Or quite honestly, it really wouldn't matter which bluegill swim jig. Here's another bluegill swim jig right here. It'd be a great match in that one too. This one's got kind of a light wire hook. Yeah, that scares me. Here's a Divine. And the reason I want to show you this, and this is, I don't remember what they call this one. This one's a little different, okay? This one's got a swing hook. So this is, instead of having a weed guard on top, you hook your bait weedless with the screw lock. I think this one's called the Axle, and you can see it pivots here on the head. I don't have a big opinion on that. I like it. I like the philosophy. I haven't fished it yet, so I can't tell you a whole lot about it. But this one, I have fished. And this is the Divine swim jig in a 3/8 ounce. And this is gonna get into the rods in a minute. But you'll see there's a nice screw lock there. So if you're skipping jigs and you got a screw lock, you're not gonna have to worry about it coming off. Okay, it's gonna stay in place. At least this screw lock's gonna stay in place. It's a little bit of work to get it screwed on there. And I'll show you in a second. I've got one rigged up here on my rod. All right, for 3/8 ounce, what am I? That's the one with the Congo craw, it's screwed on there, okay? This is a 3/8 ounce. This is a Daiwa Zillion rod. They quit making these years ago. They just brought them back out. I didn't pay that for it, folks. This is a 701 heavy fast. Okay, I don't throw braid. You'll see that's fluorocarbon, 20-pound fluorocarbon, because I found when I was throwing braid, my hook set was ripping holes in the fish. So that's what I suggest to you, is go out and find what works for you. Everybody's hook set's different. Look, on a swim jig, a lot of times you can kind of reel down on them and you don't have to give them a lot. It's just, I hammer them regardless anytime I get a chance. So for the 3/8, I'm using a 7-foot heavy fast. It's a jig rod, okay? This is my target rod. I'm not necessarily making long casts with it. It's a target rod. I'm throwing it around docks, around cover. Targets, short roll casts that I want to hit a target, retrieve it back maybe 10 feet. Not very long, right? So that is my choice for that. Now, the 1/2 ounce jig on this G Money here, and I've got some others. This is G Money also. I'll throw black and blue, another awesome color for a swim jig. And then anything bait fish, right? This is just a shad. Just a little tiny bit of chartreuse up there, and then it's white with some scale, white scale in it. Phenomenal swim jig. This is going to be more for covering water. And in that case, and folks, by the way, Rod Glove right now has a code out for 25% off. A great time to buy your Rod Glove rod sleeves. This is a Daiwa Tatula 7'6" flipping. Heavy, fast again, okay? When I talk about Daiwa heavy, fast, to me, compared to some other brands, I kind of refer to it as moderate, but not moderate like a crankbait rod, moderate like a jig rod, moderate like a flipping rod. It's just got a little bit more of a parabolic bend to the rod, so you got a lot more of the rod. When you set that, hook's going to absorb it. Okay, same problem here. 20-pound Sunline Sniper is what I'm using on both rods. I don't change it. I've tried braid. I've tried braid on the long cast thing. The same damn thing happens, okay? When I wail on them, it rips a big old hole in their mouth, and I know this because I didn't lose all of them, but I'm losing too many, okay? They jump up, they do their Wallergina, out goes the jig, and you're like, what the heck did I do wrong? Well, fishing with the wrong setup. So I ripped a big hole in them. So anyway, that's why I go with those. Those are the rods I recommend. You can pick any brand that you like, whatever you like. I'm not trying to sell you a rod. I'm just telling you what I learned. These work for me. The Zillion I got on clearance, it was like 120 bucks, which was a total steal. It's a phenomenal rod. The 7.6 AGS flipping stick, I think I have 8 of them. So I might like them a little bit for a whole lot of different techniques. When I want a longer rod, those are just, they really agree with me. 20-pound test on both. I'm pretty sure they both have Tatula 8-to-1 reels, okay? If you can see, that one's got the cover in the way. And this reel's blown up, folks. Last time I went out and fished it. There you go, 8-to-1. And the 8-to-1 is behind the jig there. So let me try this. Okay, 8-to-1. The reason I'm going 8-to-1, folks, is because I can always slow down. But one thing you need to remember when you're fishing a swim jig, more often than not, my experience is the fish is coming to you, okay? They will hit it and knock 3-4 feet of slack in your line. I mean, your line will just go limp. You'll feel the tick, and then there's no tension whatsoever, even if you keep reeling. So the 8-to-1 allows me to catch up. I reel into them, start to get the load in the rod, and then set, okay, because they're coming to you. Swim jigs can be a ton of fun, folks. You can fish them about anywhere. You can fish them any depth you want to fish them, and all you got to do is let it get down to the bottom, right? But around cover, wood, grass, you can fish it in the upper column. Around docks, you can fish it at any water column you want. You can bang it into stuff. They come through cover really, really well. And again, I keep the trailers pretty simple. On the white, I'm going to go with a swim bait of some sort. This happens to be the Reaction Innovation Skinny Dipper. I thought I brought some of the Strike King, the other one I'll use on a craw pattern, which is a Strike King. This is why I tried to bring it, because my brain doesn't function. It's the grub. It's a twin-tailed grub, essentially. Rage grub, I don't know. I'll put it in the description, okay? I'll put links. I'll put some different rods in there for you. You don't have to buy expensive rods for this technique. That's another great thing about it. You can fish them anywhere. And the pre-spawn through post-spawn is an ideal time for swim jigs, okay? You can work them through stuff that you can't work other things. That's the great, you can work a damn swim jig across the tops of weeds and drop it into holes and then swim it back up and over the top and into the next hole. They're just a subtle chatterbait that isn't as susceptible to fishing in wood and grass to snags, okay? It catches big fish. What I do want to tell you is it's something you need to spend some time with. Typically, when you're reeling it, you want to add a little action to it, okay? You can do it with your reel. I like to do it with the rod. Just kind of shake the rod tip slightly. It doesn't have to be a lot, just slightly, just so that rod tip's up there doing this. It's going to do the same thing to the jig on the end of your line, okay? It's just going to put the little shimmy in it. That thing's going to rock side to side, and those bass go, they're going to crush it, right? These hooks are sharp. I don't want to pull it out of my hand right now. So give those a try. Again, 20-pound FC Sniper. Both rods are heavies. Both are fast action. 20-pound test fluorocarbon. If you don't have a big hook set, by all means, fish braid. Okay, you can throw these on braid. 30-pound, 40-pound braid. That's all you need. You can fish it straight to the jig. It's a reaction bait, folks. Okay. You don't need to use a leader. You don't need to have a knot going through your guides fishing a swim jig. So I really encourage you this spring to get out and give these a try, because I think you're going to fall in love with them. And they're not expensive to fish. That's the beauty of it, right? A chatterbait, whether you get the Evo, is $10. Brain fart. You get the jackhammer, it's $15. I've seen some people say it's $20. If you're paying that much, your tackle store is ripping you off. These, $5-6. And you're not going to lose as many of them. Okay? Throw a trailer on it. You're doing the same thing on a chatterbait. You can use the same trailer as a chatterbait, as a matter of fact. Whatever you like. You can adjust trailers based on the fall rate you're looking for, or where you want to fish it in the water column. You want to slow the fall down, put on a bigger trailer. You want the fall to go faster, put on a narrower trailer. Pretty simple. Okay? Sean the Average Angler, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. Catch some fish.